You want to start with resin 3D printing? In this video, I'm going to tell you all about my first-hand experience when it comes to resin 3D printing. It took me quite a while because I have done it before and now I'm getting back into resin 3D printing right here in Zachary's 3D Prints. Hey, Zach here. Welcome to this video. So last week I had unboxed the Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra Resin 3D printer. It is a bigger resin 3D printer than the one that I bought 3 years ago, the Mars 2 Pro. And after a short while I bought a wash and cure station because I want to go full all-in resin 3D printing. But you know, there were some little things and I abandoned resin 3D printing since it is messy, it is all liquid, and it's not always clean, like mentioned, messy. So I'm going to tell you all about this in this video, and you can tell for yourself if you are going to like it, yes or no. So after the first few days, I'm very confident in resin 3D printing. There are some alternatives that I had to do because my wash and cure station is way too small for the prints of the Ultra. It's way too big. You're going to find it out. So let's dive right in. So if you are going to start with resin 3D printing, the first thing that you need to have is a model. You can go for a basic model like a Mini from Wexter. This is a brand new patrons only Mini Wonka. Very cool model. This model I have done myself. Now, if you're familiar with normal FDM 3D printing, like the printers that you see right behind me, it's not much of a big deal. You slice it, you are putting supports where it is needed, you send it to the printer and you're good to go. But that is not how resin printing works. There are some little things that you need to think about when you are going to slice a model. There are some designers that already pre-sliced the model for you so that you only have to import it into your slicer, C2Box or Lisi slicer, or maybe some other resin slicing programs, because the model should be all hollow. Yeah, with resin you can do that, making some holes where you can leak out the resin that might be in there, and also when you are going to wash it, that the liquid, the IPA or other cleaning liquids, can go in, and so you can wash everything from the inside and from the outside, not only the outside of course, and also putting it in an angle so that you can support on one side. I have no idea, at this moment I have no idea why models are not printed like this on a resin 3D printer. I will find it out sooner or later, but at a angle and then putting some supports. C2Box Basic have the possibility to add the supports automatically. All fine. I will handle that in more details in an other video. At this moment, take the standard basic settings from C2Box or Lisi Slicer, and once everything is done, you can send it right to the printer. So I also did that with several models that I did, and now currently there is a huge model waiting for me to take off the build plate. I'm not going to do that in this video, but I did another model and it came out perfectly. So after the print was finished, you need to make sure to clean every resin drop from the build plate, because you don't want to have those drops on other things besides in the resin font. Once that is done, make sure, or at least what I did, try to get the model from the build plate, so including the islands where the supports are sitting on and the model itself. It's not really needed to do it in that order, because in some ways you can also take the model from the supports and then drop it in a container with IPA. In my case, I wanted to use the basket for the wash and cure station, but I found out that it didn't fit. A model like this would fit, but too big doesn't fit. Of course, makes sense. I took a big container with IPA in there. It doesn't have to be submerged in my opinion. I took a brush and I made sure that every part, every little crevices was cleaned with the IPA and using the brush. I also made sure to have some IPA inside of the model as well, to get the remaining resin residue out of the model as well. because the last thing that you want is having the model somewhere displayed and the model is still leaking old resin, because that is very nasty and it can damage your furniture. So after the cleaning, I took some paper towels and I cleaned everything up and felt with my hands. I made sure that I didn't feel any resin on the print itself. It's still very tacky and it looks also different than the rest of the model. After cleaning it again, then I put it in a bigger container with some paper towels underneath, and I put some UV light right direct on there, and I use a solar turntable in order to spin the model around. After several minutes, and usually you have a diagram where you can find out how long that you need to wash and how long that you need to cure, and then I repeat the same process for the little stand from this Eastman model, Deathstroke, and it comes also with a little support for underneath the bust. That one I also used the same process, but since this model was smaller, I could use the wash and cure station, the Mercury Plus from Elegoo. It works amazing in both ways. The big model using the big basket or the bigger container, and for the small model I can use something like the wash and cure station. So after the curing 2 hours, because I had to switch between parts, but after a while everything turned out amazing. Check this out, how this Deathstroke looks like. Everything is looking amazing, very cool. That's just the thing with resin printing. The details are amazing. You don't see layer lines, or you have to take a microscope or a loupe in order to see it, but very nice, very pretty. I mean, I was like, okay, what next? So I printed also Mini Wonka from Waxter, also very cool. This was a model that I had to slice myself, and also this turned out amazing. So now the next print is ready to take off the build plate. So I'm going to do that off camera. And you know, if you made it this far in this video, you are amazing. If you're new here and not subscribed, subscribe, smash the like button, and let me know in the comments, what are you going to do with 3D printing? Are you diving into resin printing? Yes or no? Let me know. Oh, and by the way, for the ones that are still here at the end of the video, you know, when you are hollowing out your resin print and you have the holes here, in order to get everything out of this model, or a model like Deathstroke, you take compressed air, you blow it in one hole, and through the other hole some liquids are still coming out, and that way you make sure that the whole model is totally dry and clean.